Hello viewers, welcome to your program Development Zone, where we celebrate achievers, unveil the core potential of our nation, and also celebrate those that have contributed immensely to getting to our country. Today on the program, we'll be talking health, and we'll be chatting with Comrade Biobelemoye Josiah, the National President of Medical and Health Worker Union of Nigeria. He will be unveiling to us the achievements under his able leadership and the challenges of COVID-19, how it has affected the country entirely, not just the health sector. And he also be telling us the way forward, or what they've put in together to make the country a better one. Sit back, relax, I'll be right back.
Yeah, the mandate of this office is basically to ensure that we promote, protect the rights, welfare of our members, as well as to join with employers to ensure that health service is also at its best for the citizenry. If we're talking about the state of the health sector in Nigeria, this is something that we've been actually crying very loud for a long period, that the state of the health sector is not in a good shape, that it was very, I can say, in a very poor state. But these cries were before now, were seen as the proverbial shouting of the wolf. Yeah, crying of the wolf, 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 and there's no wolf. That's the way it was interpreted. But let me say, miserly, let me thank COVID. COVID-19 came, and COVID-19 became our ally in exposing what we've been talking about decades or over time. That was usually regarded as a mere cry of the wolf, or just a way of expressing our unwillingness to carry out our duties. Like I said, COVID now made it. I think some people now know the state of the health of the health of the nation better than even we were shouting. So I want to thank God for providing the proof of what we've been complaining years and years. We have not tested enough to start beating our chest that we have overcome the worst days of COVID. If advanced countries with all the facilities, with all the expertise, with the resources, that thought it was under control, and suddenly it is now riding high again, and they are now contemplating a second lockdown. So I would want to cautiously tell Nigerians that we are not yet where we ought to be. So no one should take it. I can see that the sensitivity of people towards the presence of COVID has drastically reduced again. Initially, the disbelief was high, but over time, the belief, gained the upper hand. And you can see people were masking and all that. But today, you hardly find, when you go to the streets, a lot of people are no longer putting on the mask. I agree that for a lockdown in Nigeria, it has been so devastating, because even the palliatives that were provided by other nations were not provided here. Just like recently, you are all witnesses to the fact that the palliative we got was fuel hike, the hike in electricity tariff, and many more things. So now on the second stanza, where if you want to tell me the government is doing well in terms of care for healthcare providers, in combating COVID, I want to tell you, with respect to the organs that I am head of, which is Medical and Health Workers Union, as well as Joint Health Sector Unions, which I am the national chairman too. For my members, the care, I would say, has been next to zero. Yes. Yes. Our members, my members, were very, very patriotic. And that was why in the thick of COVID, at that peak point when COVID was actually ravaging Nigeria, we were still challenged with discrimination by way of treatment from the government side, especially the Federal Ministry of Health, and then by the activities from the Ministry of Labor. We were discriminated very seriously, provocatively discriminated, to the point that most of my members and I have also come to the conclusion that apartheid that was dethroned in South Africa, all of us fought, the world fought to overthrow apartheid in South Africa. And it's just surprising that anything that is overthrown elsewhere begins to find an abode, a conducive abode in Nigeria. And so apartheid has successfully found a very conducive abode in the Federal Ministry of Health, where some group of workers in the same health industry would embark on strike, no penalties, quick attention and resolution of the issues. If where they have 8 issues raised, 6/8 in the first instance, at the time we were being patriotic not to embark on strike, there was a strike. And the Federal Ministry of Health did not, I repeat, did not in any way punish anyone. Rather, the Federal Ministry of Health engaged and provided 6/8 of the demands. And the strike was suspended on condition that between this period to this period, if this is not done, I will be back. And because the federal government could not do that, the strike was desuspended again. And the federal government again, the Federal Ministry of Health and Federal Ministry of Labor rallied around quickly, invited the angered workers. Of course, I'm not saying it was wrong for them to go on strike. Yeah, I support they are going on strike because the Federal Ministry of Health had provoked everyone. So they went on strike. And the second round again, the remaining 2 issues were also resolved. And then, while the appetite in this, why I say there is appetite, one, when we patiently stayed without strike for 2 years, and we were engaging, and by July 1st, when we made our complaints, and then there was a promise that these things will be resolved, suddenly, nothing happened. So we say, oh, has it become the scenario where rather than the proverbial dog, patient dog, eating the fattest bone, now it has turned around to be that the patient dog now gets no bone to eat. After the flesh has been eaten up, and the patient dog that is waiting for the bone, just the bone to eat, now even the bone is not there. So what else? How else will you describe that? Appetite. Second reason for appetite. While others were on strike in the same industry, the same essential service providers, right? They were on strike. They were engaged. And reasonably, meaningfully engaged, and conditions, demands met. Even while they were on strike, they started the strike. Before then, they threatened. Engagement was called, and during the engagement, no resolution. So they now proceeded on strike. Okay. After they proceeded on strike, they were still engaged within the strike until the issues were resolved. In our own case, after we had endured for 2 years, and even given months of, warning. In July, I said, the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Health should not lead us into temptation in July. In August, I repeated. Before it's September, we exercised to resist the provocative discrimination. So now, we now gave 15 days notice. Nothing happened until about less than 72 hours to the expiration of our notice. Then half-hearted efforts was made. Why I say half-hearted? Because even as we went onto the table, rather than trying to persuade or trying to talk to or resolving issues, the first thing was a threat. Threat of no work, no pay, threat of proscription, threat of, court action and all that. That was done. But as patriotic people, ordinarily, we ought to have walked out of that meeting. Yes. When glaringly there is appetite exhibited, displayed, we should have walked out of that meeting. But Nigerians, means more to us. So we decided to stay back and see whether there will be a better discussion. And the discussions didn't go better. Then the issue of no money, government has no money and all that. But then where did you get the money to meet other conditions? So the patient dog, no money to give him bone to eat. But flesh and bone can be given to other. So that is a second reason for the existence of our position, that there is appetite in the system, in the health system, and it's not going to be good for the development of the health system. Third reason, like I told you, we are threatened court and all that. All right? We started getting information from press, though we have not been served. As I speak, we have not been served. But we started getting press people asking me that they have gone to court that they have obtained an injunction or order. I said, well, it's only when I get the order that I will also know whether there is an order. Because these days, in recent times, you hear there is an order, there is an order, there is an order, and you have not seen the order, whether it is not the order is really for you or not. So I said I'm not aware, and so we've not been served. But the story goes round that a court order has been secured or ordered. And so the question now comes, why didn't the ministry, government and the ministry, secure most times through mercenary so-called NGOs? Why didn't they secure the order when Covid-19 was actually raging? That is the time that somebody would have said, oh, you can't go on strike and you can't do this. But rather, there were fruitful discussions, demands were met. All right? So we did that period. But now we are now beginning to hear, oh, there's that. But of course, like I said, I would still maintain we have not been served. And if we are served, then because we call the neck and then we decide what to do. So that is it. Today as I speak, my members were fooled before. They were told, oh, dialogue is the best process, And so, for 2 years, we kept dialoguing and we got nothing. So my members, that they were trying to turn against us, working on their psyche, that your leaders are too aggressive. Even at that period, we were not aggressive. After we agreed on issues, government agreed to implement an agreement in 5 weeks and failed to implement. We still waited for 6 months before embarking on our strike in 2018. Yet, they said we were not patient enough. So my brothers, my members now, I've got a series of calls. They said, oh, we now know it. We now know it. That is not leadership, it's not you. But it is a systemic plot to deprive all other health workers, because the structure in the Federal Ministry of Health, and this time even added with the Federal Ministry of Labor, is faulty. How can you? Let's talk about the structure, because these things are the key things that will develop health in this country. When there's no fairness, how do you develop? When there's no equity, how do you develop? These are people that we all work in the same industry for one goal. And my members make up, that is the members of JOESU, all right, Joint Health Sector Unions, which is made up of 5 registered trade unions. 5 registered trade unions. I hear sometimes that some reports were having it that somebody was calling JOESU, enemy president also was calling JOESU amorphous crowd. How can a body made up of 5 registered trade unions, registered under the trade laws of this country, how can we be amorphous crowd? Trade unions that are registered to practice, collective bargaining issues and then industrial relations are amorphous crowd. But professional associations that are not registered to carry out trade union functions are the ones that are not amorphous. Well, I'm waiting. I will leave that for another day, because I will appropriately respond to that if I meet face to face, and then I will know who is amorphous and who is not. So that is another level of apartheid that is existing. These are unions registered to carry out trade union functions. You will not give them appropriate attention. You discriminate against them. That, they are on strike, therefore I will not talk to them. But you spoke with others that are not registered trade unions, because they are your professional colleagues. That is high level of chauvinism. Yes. There's no better way you can interpret that. So the apartheid is clear. And if the apartheid is not dismantled in the Federal Ministry of Health, then I'm afraid we will have any good development in the health sector. But if you're talking about closing down to my union, the period I have stayed, I've done my first term and then now I'm into my second term. I think one of the greatest achievement, I would say, which I inherited from my predecessor, Comrade Ayuba Waba, the global president, is peace. There has been very significant peace within the union, and we have also made some very deliberate efforts to see how we can improve even the workplace. As you can see, while you are coming, the road you came through, if you came through this other way, the road you came through, after you have left the rough side, there's an interlocked section, okay, about a kilometer or so. That was done by this union. We did it by ourselves, just to ensure that the access to our facility, our office here, and access to the environment, inhabitants of the environment, it's just like our corporate social responsibility. So we did that. And also we have acquired land for the establishment of a college of health technology, with the aim geared towards ensuring that we carry out programs that will enable our people to be graduates in their various specialties, disciplines. And then that land is fenced. It's fenced already, 5.4 acres of land, hectares of land, fenced. And we also have, if you look at there is a prototype there, a 300-bed hospital, specialist hospital, but we are taking up the phase 1 of it, which is on now. We are structurally, we are at a reasonable stage. We're at a reasonable stage. And Apart from that, I think the workers, even at the time when so many state governments and local councils as government entities and private employers were unable to pay salaries, because we are a labor union, we prioritize that, and our members are not owed salaries at all. They are not owed salaries. Even in terms of pension, nobody is owed pension, paying as and when due. And looking at other developments, when I came, I inherited from the master builder of this union, Ayuba Waba. I inherited 2 hotels as part of our diversification process, which he met 2 hotels. Today, as we speak, we have 4 hotels, and we are trying to expand one of them again. We are trying to expand one of the hotels again, and also I would comfortably say that it has been a real good relationship. Peace at all levels. The NEC level, we have held meetings without rancor. At the NAC level, meetings without rancor. CWC level, meetings without rancor. And even the BOT, we come to meetings and, you know, we attend our meetings and deliberate like brothers. And one key thing is transparency. We're all open-hearted, open-minded to each other, and so there's real enduring peace in the union. And even with our relationship with our state councils, you know, the vast majority of them, we have very good relationship with our state councils. Even after the reorganization, the new ones too. So I think one of the greatest things that Comrade Ayuba, you know, bequeathed to this union before leaving is the sense of unity. Sense of unity. Enable us, in spite of the economic downturns and all that I should be able to complete and commission the specialist hospital projects. Once I'm able to do that, I'll be a fulfilled man. At least some legacy. Today we are happily seated here. There's a legacy of Ayuba Waba. So if I am coming to benefit from the legacy of Comrade Dr. Ayuba Waba, the global president, then I should, while living, also bequeath a legacy to those coming behind, so as to encourage them to also put in place their own legacy after me. That's the way this union can really grow. And the other thing that I think I will be happy about is the workers. We are a trade union that fights for the rights of workers, the working class. So in this place, we have exemplified, we are leading by example. So we ensure that our workers are happy. That they are happy. The pay is never enough, but they also know that we have done well within our resources what we ought to do. So everybody's happy, everybody smiles. You know, we are an organization that if any of us, even today, if Ayuba is coming here, everybody in this place is eager to receive him, you know, with smiles and happiness. So the same way I am here, and I hope that, and I believe that even when I have left, if for any reason I have to come for a visit, I want to leave, I want to be happy that I am also received with smiles.
Welcome back. Like you've heard it all from the National President of Medical and Health Worker Union of Nigeria, they are putting a lot together to make sure the welfare and the rights of all their members is being given to them, and also to make sure that what they are meant to be derived from the government of the day be given to them. And also, he has also promised that during his administration, a lot will be put in place to better the face of this great union. Till I come your way again, I'm your host, Joseph Unokubolijo. Bye for now. Please do follow us on our social media platform for more updates and comments. On Facebook, Bolijo Media Communications Limited. On Twitter, BOJ_TV. On WhatsApp, 0703-477-8568. Our email, bolijomedia@yahoo.com. For more updates from BOJ TV, kindly click on the subscribe button and the notification bell sign beside.